You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I only have a certain budget.
No problem. Right now at the LASIK Vision Institute, get 20% off LASIK when treated in April. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes, plus guaranteed financing options. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your journey towards 20/20 vision. Must mention this promotion and be treated in April of 2024 to qualify. 20% off standard price of wave light procedure. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Go to GetLVILASIK.com for details. At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I'm so busy right now.
We offer a mix of convenient days and times, including 30-minute virtual appointments to fit your schedule.
I would love it, but I have astigmatism.
We treat thousands of patients with astigmatism every month with great outcomes. The LASIK Vision Institute is making your journey towards 20/20 vision all about you. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your LASIK journey.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
Ready to stand out, Army ROTC prepares you not only as a college student, but as a strong leader, allowing you to earn the rank of second lieutenant. You will be eligible for full tuition merit-based scholarships and develop leadership skills essential for your future. Start strong and enhance your college experience. Visit your campus Army ROTC representative today. To find out how you can earn up to a full tuition scholarship, visit goarmy.com/podcast to locate your closest ROTC program today. Army officers inspire, strengthen others. Paid for by the United States Army.
Not to be a backseat driver, but can you say for sure you got the best monthly payment possible on your auto loan? Could it be that you might have gotten a better deal by shopping the loan at a few places and have a lower car payment? Next time, before you go car shopping, visit Communication Federal Credit Union first. Our auto loan experts will find you a perfect loan and get you the lowest monthly payment we can. Communication Federal, your auto loan experts. Restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Hand on the Bible, I'm a decent man. No, I ain't perfect, but I'm learning how to be the best I can. But I got demons collecting dust, and I buried them so damn far down so they can't find their way back up. So don't mistake my kindness for weakness, 'cause I can flip that switch, and you can find out quick. There's a hell on the other side that you ain't met yet, tread real light. Dare you to light that fuse, 'cause I can be a loose cannon.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
And welcome into a special Wednesday night edition of the Rick Robinson Show, live right here on KLRNradio.com. We've got a gap for the next couple of weeks while we figure a couple things out on off-facing weeks for the new podcast here on KLRN Radio, Talk Murder to Me, hosted by our very own Bumpstock Barbie and now her husband, Bumpstop Ken. Try to say both of those things really fast. It doesn't always work. Anyway, so we're here, we're live, and it is Wednesday night instead of Wednesday afternoon, so we're kind of doing a makeup. It'll be me for hour one. I think Andrew's going to be joining some point either before or during hour two. He's opted to come hang out with me. Orty is still working, so there may or may not be a Rick and Orty. Kind of dependent on how he feels when he gets off and how I feel after being hot mic for 3 hours. For those of you who don't do talk radio, doing talk radio is a lot like going to college. When they tell you that a show is like, or that, you know, 3 credit hours, 4 credit hours, means for every hour that you're on, or in class, there's usually about 3 hours you have to do when you're not in class. So, talk radio, kind of same thing. For every hour, if you don't want to ramble a lot like I sometimes do when I'm flying by the seat of my pants, usually takes about 2 to 3 hours worth of work for every hour that you're going to put on. So, I wasn't really planning on doing this much today. Luckily, I've been doing this long enough that it doesn't take me quite as long to throw shows together as it used to. Because, I was like, I already knew I was going to be live from 9 to 10 Eastern. And then it turned into, G's not doing a show because he had family stuff going on. Not mad about it, because for most everybody that's on KLRN Radio, this is a hobby. For me, it's, something I want to do for a living. So then it turned into, now I get to do 2 hours. And I was like, oh, wait, it's Wednesday. So technically I'm on with Stacy for that whole first hour. So yeah, it's going to be 3 hours of me, 1 hour with Stacy. Well, 4 hours total if Orty wants to do his thing still. So 1 hour with Stacy, 1 hour by myself, 1 hour with Andrew, and then 1 hour with Orty. Either way, that makes for a long night. For me and for you. Anyway, so this happened today, and I was going to talk about this afternoon until I realized that there was no way I was going to have everything set up in time. But if you were listening first hour, I've already gone into that, so we're not going to do that again. So the headquarters of the Republican National Committee was briefly placed on lockdown Wednesday morning, and the hazardous materials team from the United States Capitol Police responded to the scene on Capitol Hill. According to sources reported by NBC News, the emergency response stemmed from a package containing vials of blood that was sent to the RNC offices just a few steps from House office buildings. Capitol Police told NBC News that the package was contained and removed by its personnel, while another source told the outlet that the blood was being tested, presumably to determine its source and whether any additional hazards were present in the package sent to the national headquarters of the Republican Party. In a statement following the lockdown, U.S. Capitol Police said it was called to the RNC's offices for the report of a suspicious package which contained 2 vials of blood and was cleared by our Hazardous Incident Response Division. Authorities added that the source of the package, along with its contents, are under further investigation. According to NBC News, it remained unclear whether any suspects were in custody at the time of this report. The RNC released a statement on Wednesday afternoon on the quote-unquote revolting attack. Today, vials of blood were sent to RNC headquarters in D.C. We are thankful to law enforcement who responded quickly and ensured everyone's safety. The lockdown has been cleared and staff has resumed their office duties because we remain unintimidated and undeterred in our efforts to elect President Trump to the White House. This revolting attack comes on the heels of pro-Hamas protesters violently demonstrating on college campuses and deranged Biden supporters physically attacking our campaign volunteers for supporting President Trump. While Republicans fight to strengthen our economy, secure our southern border, and halt the violent crime in our communities, the fringe left is wreaking havoc, sowing fear and lying to the public in a bad faith effort to divide Americans and sway an election. No matter what violent tactics Biden's extreme left supporters try next, we stand firm in our mission to deliver greater freedom and opportunity for all Americans, and we won't back down. U.S. Representative Jim Banks, Republican, Indiana, the Republican nominee for United States Senate in the Hoosier State, framed the incident as an attempt to intimidate Republicans because they know we are winning. All I know is it's bad either way. I mean, just think about this for a second. Imagine the outcry if this had happened to the DNC. I've barely heard anybody talking about this today. Now, granted, I've been in my office and my studio trying to get everything put back together, but I still was keeping an eye on things because I knew I was going to be live tonight one way or the other, even if I didn't do the afternoon stuff. So here's another thing that came across my desk that probably almost nobody's heard about. Democrat Senator Sherrod Brown has been hit with an FEC complaint. So for those of you who are wondering, the FEC would have been the group, you know, this whole thing that's going on Trump, New York right now, Stormy Daniels, campaign finance issues, blah, blah, blah. If there was anything to that, the FEC would have been the ones to pick that up and run with it. There wasn't, though. So there's been an entire legal gymnastics event tied to making those charges try to stick. And I don't think he's going to be acquitted. I would be really surprised, though, if there's not a hung jury, which is going to either start the process over or cause it to be dismissed. Well, it'll be dismissed with or without prejudice. If it's dismissed without prejudice, then they're probably going to try again. But anyway, so there's a Democrat currently in trouble with the FEC. So again, Ohio Democrat U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown is the subject of new complaint filed with the Federal Election Commission by the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust, otherwise also known as FACT, alleging solicitation and acceptance of contributions in excess of what campaign law allows in his re-election campaign versus GOP nominee Bernie Moreno. The 11-page FEC complaint seeking an investigation alleges that Brown and his campaign agents, Friends of Sherrod Brown, the Ohio Democratic Party, and Ohio Grassroots Victory Fund, the Brown JFC, sorry, anytime I see JFC, I think bad things. Just saying. Sorry, too much time on social media. Have been unlawfully soliciting excessive contributions to Brown's 2024 re-election bid. The campaign filed by FACT, a nonpartisan ethics watchdog, is based on public campaign finance reports and current fundraising appeals. The key issues are 1. Solicitations for donations to Brown's primary election campaign, in which he ran unopposed, and 2. Whether donors to the state Democratic Party knew their contributions would be used to support Brown's general election campaign. In this case, it may look as if Senator Brown is using a complex fundraising scheme, but the reality is it appears he is simply seeking campaign contributions above the legal limit, explained FACT's Executive Director Kendra Arnold. Of course, the law must be strictly enforced against all candidates, but it is especially egregious when a long-serving U.S. senator seems to be violating this law and the trust that the public has placed on him and in him, she emphasized. Here's a FACT's arguments regarding the solicitation for Brown's primary campaign emphasis added. Based on Friends of Sherrod Brown's public reports filed with the FEC, there is reason to believe Sherrod Brown and his campaign have violated FECA, Federal Election Campaign Act of 1971, and the FEC's implementing regulations by knowingly and willfully soliciting contributions in excess of FECA's contribution limits. Friends of Sherrod Brown has reported no debts outstanding in connection with Sherrod Brown's uncontested 2024 primary election. Yet, since the March 19 primary election, Brown and his campaign, through the Brown JFC, continue to actively solicit contributions expressly designated for his primary election. As noted, the JFC's Act Blue contribution page specifically states that the first 3,000, 5,000 from a person multi-candidate PAC will be allocated to Friends of Sherrod Brown and designated to the primary election. There is reason to believe that Sherrod Brown and the Friends of Sherrod Brown continues to solicitation of funds for an election that has long ago occurred, when the campaign had no debts outstanding from the election and may have resulted in several violations of FECA and FEC regulations, including 52 USC 30016A and 1, 30016F, and 3025E, and 11 CFR 11.1B and 110.9. The matter of contribution or contributor knowledge as to how the donations to the state party will be spent is a bit wonkier. Again, just adding the, again for emphasis, I guess. As described above, all contributions of up to $10,000 made to the Ohio Democratic Party through the Brown JFC have been designated for spending on Sherrod Brown's general election campaign. Specifically, Brown's JFC's contributions page expressly states that all contributions made to the JFC will fund the state's party, get out the vote, and voter turnout operations to get Sherrod across the finish line this November. As a result of this express designation language, there is reason to believe contributors to the Brown JFC have been making contributions to the Ohio Democratic Party with knowledge that their funds would be spent on the party's get out the vote and voter turnout operation, explicitly for the use of turning out the vote for Sherrod Brown, meaning all amounts contributed to the state party through the Brown JFC must be deemed general election contributions to Sherrod Brown. Indeed, this express designation language would appear to qualify as an express earmark under FEC's broad definition, according to 11 CFR 11.6B, subsection 1. In fact, the scenario presented fits squarely within the example of prohibited earmarking described in McCutcheon, where a donor gives money to a party committee but directs the party committee to pass the contribution along to a particular candidate. McCutcheon 572 U.S. at 194. Accordingly, all contributions made to the state party in response to Brown's JFC designation language should be deemed contributions from the person to Sherrod Brown in order to avoid direct circumvention of the limits according to 11 CFR 110.6A. Given the Brown's JFC express designation language, there is no question that contributors who have donated to Ohio Democratic Party through the Brown JFCs have contributed with the knowledge that a substantial portion of their contribution to the Ohio Democratic Party will be expended on behalf of Sherrod Brown in the 2024 general election. Those contributions consequently should have been aggregated with any general election contributions the same contributors made to Sherrod Brown pursuant to 11 CFR 110.1 subsection H, likely resulting in excessive contributions and various reporting deficiencies by respondents. So that's a lot of legalese, just to make it a little bit easier for you to understand. They're basically pulling an election Ponzi scheme. On one site, they're saying all the money's going to go for this. On another site, they're saying all the money's going to go for this, and the two sites don't reconcile. So it's actually causing campaign limits to be violated, which is an FEC violation. I'll be curious to see if anything happens with it. Somehow I doubt it. Because, Garland's like on top of those kind of things all the time. Pretty sure if any handcuffs are involved, they'll probably be the furry kind. Just saying. Anyway. Alright, so let's see what else we can talk about today, because like I said, I have been out of the loop and playing catch up, but there's still plenty of things to talk about. Oh, so we have to talk about this, right? Stacy touched on this a little bit during whatever, but this was kind of a big deal for me. It's not really unexpected, still kind of a surprise though. So this is from our friends at Town Hall. Sarah Arnold, Trump or Biden, this is who gets Nikki Haley's vote. Former UN ambassador and former South Carolina governor Nikki Haley, Republican Party, has revealed which 2024 candidate she plans to cast her vote for in November. In a surprise change of heart, Haley said she would vote for her GOP rival, former President Donald Trump, over President Joe Biden. Haley's support of Trump could potentially boost the former president's 2024 chances after some voters have continually cast their vote for the governor, despite dropping out of the race. In Wisconsin, a key battleground state, 20.8% of Republican primary voters cast a ballot for a candidate that wasn't Donald Trump and wasn't Joe Biden. Despite suspending her campaign a month ago, Haley received more than 12%, or 76,000 votes in the state. In comparison, in 2020, Biden won Wisconsin by over 20,000 votes against Donald Trump. During a conservative think tank, Haley said that Biden has been a catastrophe for the country, resulting in her vote going for Donald Trump. Trump has not been perfect on these policies. I have made that clear many, many times, she said, so I will still be voting for Trump. Haley recognized that she had millions of supporters who wanted to see her secure the White House, saying that Trump would be smart to reach out to the millions of people who voted for me and continue to support me. In Arizona, Haley won 18% of the vote in the GOP primary in March, even after suspending her campaign. Voters who supported Haley on the campaign trail may now support Trump after her endorsement. However, according to the Biden campaign, the 45th president doesn't want Nikki Haley's supporters. The Associated Press claimed that the Biden administration is organizing a Republicans for Biden group behind the scenes, which will encourage Haley voters to cast their vote for Biden in each battleground state. Haley attacked Democrats and Republicans who have forgotten what makes America safe. Haley took a few jabs at the Republican Party while declaring that Joe Biden's legacy is already clear. He will go down in history as the commander-in-chief who refused to stop our enemies. Just a few weeks before Biden threw Israel to the wolves, many Republicans in Congress tried to push Ukraine off a cliff. All told, 112 House Republicans voted against military aid to Ukraine. She said some Republicans lack clarity when it comes to Ukraine. So that's about the only part of her statement that I take issue with, because it's not that Republicans lack clarity when it comes to the Ukraine. It's the fact that we understand that this is the largest money laundering scheme ever flouted upon the American people, and being told that it is the only way that we're going to be able to keep them safe, when nothing could be further from the truth. The Biden administration is propping up a dictator. That man, Volodymyr Zelensky, has already suspended elections in Ukraine with the blessing of our very own State Department, who has basically said that elections will remain suspended until every single Ukrainian can cast a vote that will be able to be counted, even those that are currently living in Russian jurisdiction, which, if I will remind you, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of that happened under not Donald Trump, but while Joe Biden was vice president, under Barack Obama. So for everyone who keeps trying to convince you that this is not Obama 3.0, it's exactly where we are. Obama 2.0 was an upgrade that we skipped because that was going to be Hillary. But that's not where we are now. So we now have Obama 3.0, which is unfortunately an amalgamation of Obama policies and Clinton policies with Biden as the puppet head, because they're both the ones pulling the strings. Now, who's pulling their strings? I don't know, but I know they're not ultimately the ones in charge. We know this because we now understand that an entire group of bureaucrats has been running this country for a very, very long time. And if you listen to this show on a regular basis in the afternoons, you know that we've gone over this and over it with receipts ad infinitum to prove exactly what I'm saying. So I'm not going to be doing all of that tonight. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Since I didn't take the monologue break, we are going to take a quick one real quick. Good Lord, you think I don't get paid to talk or something? Just don't know what I want to go to break with, so hang on. We'll do this one. Why not? It's kind of a fun one, sort of. It's funny that I'm actually finding covers of songs I used to listen to when I was a kid that I actually prefer over the originals. This is almost one of them. The drums aren't quite the same, though. All right, you are listening to The Rick Robinson Show live right here on KLRMradio.com. We usually do this thing every Tuesday through Friday between the hours of 3 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern. For tonight, you get a primetime edition because blank space and stuffs. All right, you are listening to us on America's Podcast Network. Again, I'm Rick Robinson. We're going to take a quick break, maybe stretch your legs for a sec, make yourself a drink, maybe smoke a little bit of what makes you think. You're not working, and I don't judge. Or if you are working, I still don't judge. We'll be right back.
Can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, oh
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I only have a certain budget.
No problem. Right now at the LASIK Vision Institute, get 20% off LASIK when treated in April. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes, plus guaranteed financing options. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your journey towards 20/20 vision. Must mention this promotion and be treated in April of 2024 to qualify. 20% off standard price of wave light procedure. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Go to GetLVILASIK.com for details. At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I'm so busy right now.
We offer a mix of convenient days and times, including 30-minute virtual appointments to fit your schedule.
I would love it, but I have astigmatism.
We treat thousands of patients with astigmatism every month with great outcomes. The LASIK Vision Institute is making your journey towards 20/20 vision all about you. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your LASIK journey.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, I drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you. See you, see you.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
Ready to stand out, Army ROTC prepares you not only as a college student, but as a strong leader, allowing you to earn the rank of second lieutenant. You will be eligible for full tuition merit-based scholarships and develop leadership skills essential for your future. Start strong and enhance your college experience. Visit your campus Army ROTC representative today. To find out how you can earn up to a full tuition scholarship, visit goarmy.com/podcast to locate your closest ROTC program today. Army officers inspire strength in others. Paid for by the United States Army.
Not to be a backseat driver, but can you say for sure you got the best monthly payment possible on your auto loan? Could it be that you might have gotten a better deal by shopping the loan at a few places and have a lower car payment? Next time, before you go car shopping, visit Communication Federal Credit Union first. Our auto loan experts will find you a perfect loan and get you the lowest monthly payment we can. Communication Federal, your auto loan experts. Restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
True and a deceiver. I'm a hero and a villain. I'm a myth and I'm a legend. Without strength and a contender, I am real and a pretender. Take me as I am or don't, 'cause I don't give a damn, no. Take me as I am or don't, 'cause I don't give a damn, no. I have my own flaws, I make mistakes, but I'm myself, I'm not ashamed. That's who I am, that's who I am, that's who I am. Oh, I have my doubts, I lose my strength, sometimes I
And welcome back into the program, ladies and gentlemen. Again, primetime edition of the Rick Robinson Show, coming at you live right here on KLRNradio.com. Usually we do this thing every Tuesday through Friday between the hours of 3 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern, but it's been a week, so we're doing a makeup episode today, and then things will be back to normal for Thursday and Friday. Was hoping to have a complete new setup running today. Unfortunately, I am missing an adapter. My birthday's on Saturday, though, so my son's taking care of that for me. So right now we're running new microphone, old board. I do have to say that from what I can hear in my own ears, just the microphone itself is a vast improvement, so I can't wait until everything is running the way it's supposed to be. Because it sounded even better when I was playing on the other board until I realized that the computer couldn't see it, and I was sad. Anyway, so we're back, we're live, and plenty of things to talk about, because there always are. So this is from our friends at PJ Media, and this is written by Kirk S. Lippold, Dateline Today. China steals a failing weapon, but the U.S. builds more. Some of you know about this, and it's a bit of a slog to get through it all because it's a longer article, but we're going to kind of hit the high points. So going to kind of go through it. First couple of paragraphs, and going to kind of skip around a little bit. In his book, New Cold Wars, journalist David Sanger warns of the risks posed to the United States by a rising China and a declining Russia. Russia's problems are on vivid display in Ukraine, where its military is destroying itself, burning through men and materiel, but going nowhere. However, the country remains a nuclear power, and those weapons mean that it will always pose a threat to America and our allies. That is a threat we have understood and dealt with for decades. China, however, is a more complex problem. As it continues to assert itself across Asia, it may soon make a strategic move to conquer the island of Taiwan. Beijing is also adept at hacking into American computer systems, where it engages in cyber warfare as it steals information about Americans and our defenses. With its unprecedented theft of the federal government records and personal emails, it also targets defense contractors who make the weapons we use to defend our freedom. In one of the worst instances of these, Chinese hackers broke into the defense contractor Lockheed Martin and stole the plans for the Pentagon's cutting-edge new Joint Strike Fighter, the F-35. Singer writes, in a willful challenge to the U.S., the Chinese Air Force decided to test fly the plane just as Robert Gates, the American Defense Secretary under Bush and Obama, was visiting the country. Dun dun dun. It is worth wondering whether they had any better luck with the design they stole than our military has had with the designs we've paid so dearly for. Unlike the U.S., this theft saved billions of dollars. They now use to improve a flawed design as we play catch-up and spend even more precious taxpayer dollars. A decade after that cyber attack and the compromise, the American version of the F-35 is still struggling to get off the ground, no pun intended, with any level of consistent readiness. The Department of Defense's DoD effort to modernize the F-35's capabilities, an effort known as Block 4, continues to experience cost and schedule growth. The government's accounting team wrote last year, also the F-35 program has yet to install Technology Refresh 3, the $1.64 billion suite of upgraded hardware and software technologies critical to enabling many future Block 4 capabilities, on production aircraft. In its annual report, the military wrote that the operational sustainability of the F-35 fleet remains below service expectations and requirements. A favorite refrain of defense contractors and senior military officers is that the services set the requirements and the contractors are expected to meet them based on contract specifics. In the case of the F-35, things continue to go in the wrong direction. In fiscal year 2023, aircraft availability was slightly below that in fiscal year 2022, after declining for most of fiscal year 2021, despite reaching an historic program high in January 2021. The military admits previous attempts by the military to obfuscate these failing readiness issues. For those of you who, that's like a $5 word, means they're trying to hide things, in case you didn't know. These failing readiness issues and are usually measured in crashes and service member deaths. Air and Space Forces magazine adds that the F-35 is available for operations only about half of the time. The aircraft dubbed not available are designated as such when they are in depot or unable to fly due to maintenance or supply issues. The magazine writes, rates of aircraft down due to supply was 27% relatively, which is flat but slightly worse than fiscal year 2023's rate. Part of the problem is there aren't enough F-35s available to test the new software. As of last year, there were only 7 such planes to run tests on. Lawmakers are rightly frustrated. Our patience is wearing thin. Rep. Rob Whitman, Republican of Virginia, chair of the House Armed Services Tactical Air and Land Forces Subcommittee, said last year. Meanwhile, an Air Force general told lawmakers that the F-35 has a history of not being able to deliver software with new hardware. That is a problem, whether the Chinese hackers have stolen the software or not. China is rapidly becoming a peer competitor, and the United States may soon find itself confronting China over the future of Taiwan or a myriad other issues. To prevail, the U.S. will need all of our weapon systems to work properly. By now, the Chinese have probably figured out that the information they hacked is less than useful. Simply put, our most expensive long-term military acquisition program, otherwise known as the F-35, is failing the American people. Lawmakers need to force the contractor to fix the problems and hold the service admirals and generals accountable for these failures before the Chinese fly right past us and we end up trying to hack them. So in case you're wondering, the guy who wrote this, Kirk S. Lippold, is a retired Navy commander, so I'm pretty sure he knows of which he speaks. He's actually the former commanding officer of the USS Cole and author of the book Front Burner, Al-Qaeda's Attack on the USS Cole. So yeah, this guy would be considered an expert in this field and has some very not nice things to say about, well, Lockheed Martin, the F-35, and how our military's been handling the F-35. So, but this goes back to something that I've talked about on this show before. Because I understand why we did what we did. China decided it was going to become some sort of capitalist communist hybrid. We saw unlimited earnings potential because their labor is cheap and they have lots of people. But what we didn't really pay attention to, I hope we didn't pay attention to, was the fine print. Because not only are they able to hack and steal things from us from over here, and somehow they seem to be able to do it without impunity and pretty much any time they want to, but anything we develop over there technically belongs to the CCP. All intellectual property developed on Chinese soil, whether it is through a foreign conglomerate, a foreign country, or China itself, all of the IP belongs to the CCP. So again, you have to ask, why have we made this deal that we have made with one of the biggest devils on the planet? Because I am a capitalist. And I have said this on every show that I have done. We have neither had full and proper communism. We've never had full and proper capitalism. The problem is even flawed capitalism can allow people to be raised into new caste structures, new class structures, etc. Communism has never allowed that to happen. Even in its most perfect form, which only exists on paper. So you have to ask yourselves, why are we still doing so much business with a country that wants us dead? This is something that I have been asking over and over again since 2020. Look, whether COVID was leaked on purpose, whether it happened by accident, however that bug got out, once China knew that bug got out, it did everything that it could to basically create a national level Munchausen by proxy, because they tried to insulate their own population as best they could by not allowing people from Wuhan province to travel into the rest of China. However, they were fine with those people leaving. And at the same time, they went on a buying spree around the world to gobble up as much PPE as they could, and then to basically give it out, in some cases for free, to try to remove themselves from the equation as far as them being the origination point of this particular virus. This is all very, very bad. What is even worse is that our country went along with it. What is even worse than that is the people that were in charge at the top levels of our medical institutions not only knew, but took steps to make sure that you and I never knew. These are the people that keep telling you and me that they are going to try to make our lives better by trying to find ways to make us more healthy, try to find ways to make us live longer. You know, we do have a longer lifespan in this country, but I have noticed while we have a longer lifespan, we also have an uptick in the amount of medications it takes to supposedly enjoy this longer lifespan, because our medicine and the field of medicine hasn't become about the cure. It's been about the symptoms, and it's become about the symptoms. Most everything that you take now isn't to make you feel well. It's to make you feel better. And I've noticed this for a long time, because for those of you who don't do broadcasting for a regular basis, bronchitis is a regular thing for people that talk like this for hours upon hours upon hours, for weeks and months and years. So bronchitis becomes a thing. Your seasonal allergies also become much different, because you are talking in a different way than most people that just converse on a regular basis do, because there's different breathing techniques and everything else that you use, so you don't sound like Darth Vader on the radio. I know, because I didn't used to do those things, and I once sounded like Darth Vader on the radio. And Speedy Gonzalez. It was really weird. But that being said, when I started doing all these things years ago, I would go to the doctor and be like, I have bronchitis again. Oh, we'll just put you on this and we'll do this. And I'm like, but then it's going to be back again in probably 2 or 3 months. Well, really all we can do is treat the symptoms. Then with then occasionally, because bronchitis is when you've got not really congestion in your lungs, but dry, hacky cough. Then occasionally it would turn into a wet cough, because things would get down into my lungs. So then I would go back to the doctor and be like, okay, well, good news is the bronchitis is gone. Bad news is I now have stuff that I'm coughing up. Well, just take this. Like, I've been taking that. It says if I have to take it for more than 7 days, I'm supposed to come talk to you, which is why I'm here. We'll just keep taking that. When did that be how medicine worked? When did that become how medicine works, though? When did medicine just start being about prophylactics, not preventativeness? I mean, I get that, being able to alleviate the symptoms from cancer is a lot more profitable than being able to cure cancer. I understand that. But we're talking about symptoms of the same problem that are now creeping in everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean absolutely everywhere. Look at what's happening with Boeing. Look at what's happening with car manufacturers. You now have these bean counters that sit there and go, well, this design has a major, major flaw, but it's only going to impact probably maybe 1 in 10,000 vehicles. So instead of a recall, let's just see if our math adds up. We can always do the recall later. I went through this with the vaccines being recalled in Great Britain not too long ago, where they were talking about how it was, going to impact 1 in 99,000 people. And you're literally talking about millions of people that received it. So you're talking about tens of thousands that could have statistically and were in fact negatively impacted, and they didn't care until people started complaining about the results. You have the same thing going on in this country. The only difference is Operation Warp Speed had a lot of indemnities built in. So these companies that did these things, which for those of you who don't know this yet, let me slap one more piece of knowledge on you. These vaccines were not actually developed by the companies with their names on them. The companies slapped their names on them because they were names that you trust. These things were developed by our own military-industrial complex. In case you didn't know. Fun times, right? But yeah, so anyway, one other little... This is something that I knew was going to happen. This will probably be the last thing we talk about before we go to break, because I'm going to try to see if Andrew still wants to come on and bring him in for hour 2. But this is something that I kept telling everybody was going to happen. I was kind of actually hoping it would happen, but now that it has happened, I can't help but laugh. This is from Matt Margolis, again, PJ Media. Biden is still off of the Ohio ballot, and that could tip the Senate to the GOP. Democrats have a history of believing that rules and laws don't apply to them, and their flagrant flouting of Ohio law may cost them the U.S. Senate. Please, God. For whatever reason, the Democratic National Committee blatantly disregarded Ohio state law when it scheduled the Democratic National Convention for August 22nd, when Ohio's deadline to file as a candidate for the general election ballot is August 7th. This means Joe Biden will not officially be the Democratic Party nominee in time to qualify for the Ohio ballot. Naturally, there has been pressure on the Ohio state legislature to change state law in order to allow Biden on the ballot, and such a change would not be without precedent. Both Alabama and Washington have similar laws that would prevent Biden from appearing on their November ballots for the same reason, but both states have since resolved the matter to allow him to be listed on the ballots. Washington, I kind of understand. Alabama, what the hell? Don't change your laws for Puddinhead. Just saying. However, the Republican-led Ohio legislature isn't about to change the law for Biden's sake, and it's an open question as to how Biden will ultimately end up on the state's ballot. Governor Mike DeWine, Republican, remains confident it will get done. No one should worry. They're going to be able to vote for the president or the former president, whoever they want to vote for, he said in a statement. You know this is not going to be a situation where the president's name is not on the ballot, so it's either going to be done by the court or it's going to be done by the legislature. The problem, as PJ Media previously reported, is not that Republicans in Ohio State legislature are trying to block Biden from appearing on the ballot. The problem is the Democrats opposed a legislative fix that would simultaneously ban foreign contributions for state ballot measure campaigns. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Anyway, Democrats are more interested in protecting foreign billionaires who want to bankroll Ohio's election than getting their presidential candidates on the ballot, Secretary of State Frank LaRose said in a statement earlier this month. Of course, the real issue here isn't Joe Biden. Ohio has been trending red for several cycles, and Trump is polling way ahead there. Biden's presence or lack thereof on the ballot wouldn't change the likely outcome of the presidential election there. It could, however, make things problematic for Mr. Sherrod Brown, otherwise known as Senator Sherrod Brown, who we talked about earlier, who's currently had an FEC complaint slapped against him, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But it could make it difficult for him, who is in fact on the ballot. It could depress Democratic turnout for lower ballot races, including that for U.S. Senator, and potentially help the GOP win control of the U.S. Senate. It likely won't come to that, but Ohio's Senate race is a bigger issue here than Biden, who has little reason to believe he'll be competitive in Ohio this year. PJ Media reached out to the Ohio Secretary of State, Frank LaRosa's office for comment, but we did not get a response back in time for publication. So, is it any wonder that, again, big surprise, Joe Biden doesn't care about state laws, neither does the DNC. I am really surprised that Alabama took steps to do something nice for President Puddinhead. May have to try to see if somebody I know can get a bit more pulled on that way. Just saying. All right. Well, no, actually, I was looking at that wrong. We probably have time for one more story. For some reason, I was thinking that said 59 already. Hey, don't be hating on the OnlyFans. I already had my name for my channel picked out. Anyway, sorry, catching up with the chat. All right, so where are we going to go next? Because we got a few minutes. Wait, hang on. I just saw something that I didn't see yet. We'll get to that top of the hour, maybe. So this is from Grayson Biatches, again, PJ Media. I'm not going to go into it too far because it's a VIP and they kind of get mad when I let people know about those for nothing. But so apparently an illegal alien has been arrested for child trafficking in Wisconsin, but it's not like you think. Not counting the amazing Chilean burglar tourist, that's my new band name, copyright pending. This is the 9th time I have written about crimes that would not have happened if we had a secure border since starting with PJ Media. And again, this is from Grayson, not me, because I write for Twitchy. This one happened in Fond du Lac County in Wisconsin, specifically in Oakland. Hello again, Wisconsin readers. An unidentified man here illegally from Nicaragua since October of 2021 was recently arrested by the Fond du Lac County Sheriff's Office for, and I quote, sexual assault of a child, false imprisonment, child human trafficking, failure to protect the child, and others, according to Sheriff Ryan Waldschmidt in We Are Green Bay. What happened specifically was on Sunday, a 12-year-old girl appeared at the 911 caller's doorstep, seeking help, having managed to fight off and escape her attacker, who held her in a vehicle, blindfolded her, and was assaulting her. Where it gets truly disturbing is that this monster did not kidnap her or abduct her. Instead, and I am not making this up, he paid the girl's mother to let him be alone with her. I know, you're not the only one wondering how that makes sense. Evidently, the mother knew the guy, great judge of character apparently, their mom, and had been arrested as part of the investigation. Authorities are looking into her own immigration status as we speak. Thankfully, the girl and her siblings are in protective custody until a criminal complaint is filed. The suspects are charged until a criminal complaint is filed and the suspects are charged. This is pretty much all we know. The young girl not only bravely escaped her captor, but she was very articulate in the information she provided, and it was very soon on or early on the deputies realized the magnitude of the case. We believe her mother actually transacted money with a male known to the mom. This male paid her mother for time alone with her, then transported her out to a remote area. The part I have the hardest time understanding all of this is the girl's mother taking money from this guy so he can be alone with her. What kind of parent listens to a request like, I want to be alone with your daughter, I'll pay you, and says, okay, you have a deal, rather than immediately calling the cops? Then again, there are people out there these days who have parent-run minor accounts where they sell photos of their kids and have them chat online with pedophiles and other people who make their kids transition or raise them as non-binary. Still, how many more Americans have to suffer because of this border crisis? Hundreds, thousands, millions? I'm not the only one asking. As more and more voters are speaking out against the wide-open border and are leaning in favor of mass deportations. Even my normally Trump-disliking, soon-to-be immigrant wife is rooting for it, having seen videos on social media of all of the illegal immigrants from Venezuela stuffing New York City to the gills. Of course, nobody in the White House is going to listen until Trump hopefully gets back in office in January. since the millions they have brought in already are their ticket to staying in power forever. Dun, dun, dun. All right, gonna take a break, see if Andrew's ready to rock and roll, and get him in. So we'll be on break a little bit longer than we normally are, but it gives me time to get things lined out. So don't hate me because you hate me. I'm Rick Robinson. This is my show. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
With the legendary Juicy J. Let's go. With all this bread, I need a bigger stomach. Yeah. My name ring bells so you can hear me coming. Yeah. Made it all on my own. They ain't give me nothing. Yeah. And I'm still standing like a set of crutches. Yeah. Ain't no way they gon' forget my name. I'm a legend, putting in work ever since I came. Yes, and your umbrella, no, it can't stop my reign. You in the carpool, I'm in a different lane. I just wake up every morning, and go get the change. Do my own dirty work, and I won't get a stain. I'm too heavy in this game, and you better know it. Hustle speaks for itself. I ain't even gotta show it.
Legends are told, some turn to dust or to gold, but you will remember me. Remember me for centuries. Let's go. Just one mistake is all it will take. We'll go down in history.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I only have a certain budget.
No problem. Right now at the LASIK Vision Institute, get 20% off LASIK when treated in April. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes, plus guaranteed financing options. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your journey towards 20/20 vision. Must mention this promotion and be treated in April of 2024 to qualify. 20% off standard price of wave light procedure. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Go to GetLVILASIK.com for details. At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I'm so busy right now.
We offer a mix of convenient days and times, including 30-minute virtual appointments to fit your schedule.
I would love it, but I have astigmatism.
We treat thousands of patients with astigmatism every month with great outcomes. The LASIK Vision Institute is making your journey towards 20/20 vision all about you. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your LASIK journey.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, I drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you. See you, see you.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
Ready to stand out, Army ROTC prepares you not only as a college student, but as a strong leader, allowing you to earn the rank of second lieutenant. You will be eligible for full tuition merit-based scholarships and develop leadership skills essential for your future. Start strong and enhance your college experience. Visit your campus Army ROTC representative today. To find out how you can earn up to a full tuition scholarship, visit goarmy.com/podcast to locate your closest ROTC program today. Army officers inspire, strengthen others. Paid for by the United States Army.
Not to be a backseat driver, but can you say for sure you got the best monthly payment possible on your auto loan? Could it be that you might have gotten a better deal by shopping the loan at a few places and have a lower car payment? Next time, before you go car shopping, visit Communication Federal Credit Union first. Our auto loan experts will find you a perfect loan and get you the lowest monthly payment we can. Communication Federal, your auto loan experts. Restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Hand on the Bible, I'm a decent man. No, I ain't perfect, but I'm learning how to be the best I can. But I got demons collecting dust, and I buried them so damn far down so they can't find their way back up. So don't mistake my kindness for weakness, cause I can flip that switch.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody?
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Otherwise known as Chat Lives Matter Night, live right here on KLRNradio.com. Just got confirmation we will be your closing act for the evening. Mr. Amish is actually still working. So, and honestly, I'm starting to run out of steam anyway. So luckily, we have the one, the only, coming to you from his basement, Mr. Andrew, with us this evening. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good. Got my poles all polished up.
Polls are for next week, sir. You're getting a head start. No,
yeah.
No poll polish.
If you don't stay on top of it, then they get nasty.
No poll polishing on the Rick Robinson show, sir.
How do you know?
Okay. So no pole polishing that I am aware of or that is announced on the Rick Robinson Show. How about that?
Fair.
But yeah. So anyway, so how have things been? How have things been for you while I've been, battling bugs and technology and trying to keep up with the news and all that fun stuff?
Oh, good. I made my speed run out to Pennsylvania. Maryland. Drove all the way out there. One day at work, drove all the way back. And I get to have all sorts of fun. Going down to grab the wife and bring her back up here for the birth of my 5th granddaughter up here. I believe it's going to be a granddaughter. Could be a grandson.
5 slack.
Well, no, this is 5 for her.
No, I'm just teasing. Yeah,
There's 4 already in the South, so I'm going to have 9.
You're still
I got a softball team.
You're still slacking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm up to 13. You're still slacking.
Well, I'm too busy with the bourbon and tacos.
Oh. Sadly, tacos are your first love. Bourbon is your second love. So I'm out in the cold.
But at least you have somebody to put on the refrigerator.
Yeah, my little refrigerator imp. Woohoo!
Well, I'm just thinking, when the weather gets really nice, put her out on the front of the hood, and you get a hood ornament.
She'll be my little garden gnome.
There you go. Always needed a garden gnome.
She's gonna kill me later.
And oh man. No, it's been interesting. I get to be home for, like I said, about a week and a half. Then I'm gonna go down and grab my wife and bring her up here for the birth of the 5th one. And a week after that, I got to go to Canada for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then I'm supposed to be off the rest of the summer. But
yeah, we'll see how that works. Anyway, while you're up in Canada, don't tell them you've seen me. I'm avoiding my recall from the Canuck Intelligence Agency thanks to being outed by someone that I'm actually Canadian or something.
Well, actually, I'm going up there because I told them I got information about you.
I thought we were friends.
Yeah. Look, they offered poutine. Gravy, fries.
Yeah, I was going to say it's starting to crackle a little bit, so I'm glad you specified because it really for a second sounded like you said they offered poontang. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it did sound like that to me too. That's why I started to clarify that. No, they bourbon and poutine. It's kind of hard to. I can go up there and spin the tail. Yeah, last I heard, he was in California.
He loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly. Oh wait,
it's he hit crude, black gold,
Texas tea.
So, all sorts of fun coming out in the news for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I didn't miss you. I will say that.
Yeah, I know. You've been
having you to listen to on the road while driving.
Yeah, you've been yelling at me via text
sucks.
for days now. When are you coming back, damn it? I got nothing to listen to. I'm sorry. It's not my fault, man. Kind of, fine.
Well, I had to actually start finding the Bigfoot erotica again.
Well, there might be reason to be finding that again starting in June. Maybe.
Well, I had to go back and listen. I had to go back and catch up on that and the BBC and the fish pond.
Oh, so this is terrifying. I don't know if you've seen this yet, because I didn't. This came out a few days ago. So according to PJ Media, Windows' new chatbot will watch literally everything you do.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, so apparently Elon Musk is basically calling the new Microsoft chatbot a Black Mirror episode, a reference to Netflix's creepy Twilight Zone-inspired show that he'll definitely be turning off. But Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella says Windows is just trying to help. Yeah, I've heard that before. It's a new feature named Recall, part of the company's Copilot AI chatbot, and will screen cap literally everything you do on your Windows or Surface computer to help you find stuff later. Microsoft revealed Recall at the company's annual build conference on Monday by screen capping everything users do on their PC, including activities and apps, communications and live meetings, and websites visited for research. According to Ars Technica, the Copilot AI will be able to find for you anything you've ever done, read, or looked at, even if you can't remember what it was. As you use your PC, Recall takes snapshots of your screen. Microsoft's support page explained, snapshots are taken every 5 seconds and are locally analyzed on your PC. Recall's analysis allows you to search for content including both images and text using natural language. Screen caps will be stored locally and encrypted, but anyone with a user's password or biometric login would have access to, say, that. Recall raises privacy concerns, as ours did, is sublimely British in its understatement. So, of course, they try to couch it about, well, it's only going to be stored on your computer. Nobody's going to be able to access it, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. If you don't know enough about IT now to know that anybody that understands anything about computer networking can brute force their way into your machine if they really, really wanted to, you don't know enough about how any of this shit works. And to think that a company like Microsoft wouldn't have that capability already?
No, everybody talks about that, and it's like, well, you know what cookies are, right? Just saying.
Well, that's why I usually turn most of my cookies off as much as possible.
But it's cookies. And they're not oatmeal raisin cookies, pretending to be chocolate chip cookies.
Well, yeah, so for anybody who doesn't understand what he's talking about, the term cookies is technically for your computer to be able to find its way back to a website faster that you have visited before. So an actual way to think about cookies would be the breadcrumbs from Hansel and Gretel, or the reason it's now called cookies is because they were acting like, it was a trail of cookie crumbs leading you back to where you were before. So they just kind of came up with the idea of calling them cookies. So yeah, it's about ease of access, but it's also, again, the ability to reverse trace where you've been and what you've been looking at, which is why it's always important when it asks you if you will allow cookies. If it's a site that says you have to allow cookies to be able to access it, 1, find out for sure if you actually need to be on it. 2, if it requires cookie access, make sure you are very specific as to the type of cookies you allow it to leave behind as crumbs, because you can go in and do that too. But yeah, AI is scary enough. But having AI that's going to be capturing pretty much everything you ever do on your computer is terrifying. Because, and again, this is not because I condone criminal activity or anything else. We're talking about basically the ability for someone to get a warrant to have that AI information pulled and to have a record of everything you've ever said or done on your computer. Do you really think that's a good idea? I mean...
Well, that's like opening your phone with your facial ID or fingerprint.
Yeah, I have to admit I did eventually cave in on the facial recognition, but I've had so many different background checks and everything else, they've got me in the system anyway.
Yeah, but it's just I don't want anybody to get into my phone. My granddaughters are always constantly, Papa, look at your phone. Why doesn't it open? You need the numbers. You need the code.
Yeah.
Because I got porn on there and you really don't need to see it.
Yeah, it was funny. I was sitting there in my chair one time, and my granddaughter was wanting to get on my phone, and I told her no. So she, because I was sitting on the arm of my chair, so she picked it up, just kind of smirked at me, held it up to my face, then turned around and started doing what she wanted to do with my phone. This was at age 3, by the way. That absolutely terrified me.
Yeah.
I was like, do they like come out pre-programmed knowing how to use this stuff now? Is this like some of the, the whole freaking, genetic memory? Is that like baked in now or something? Because it's like, I remember when I was a kid, we didn't just come out knowing how to use these things. We had to learn.
Well, I know that my 6-year-old granddaughter can hack her mother's phone.
Why am I not surprised though?
I'm like, what are you doing, McKenna? Oh, I'm playing a game on mom's phone. You're not supposed to be playing a game on mom's phone.
Does mom know you're playing a game on mom's phone?
I'll lock it, and I'll sit there and watch her. I'm like, do you know your mama's code? Uh-huh. How'd you figure that out? Oh, I can. And I'm like, okay, that one I've got to watch. She's going to be my JD.
Oh.
But she is a middle child, so she takes after her grandpa.
Yeah, this is true. So apparently, since Ordy's not in chat, Jeff is assuming the your mom jokes rule. So that's been fun.
Well, it's true. I mean, Z is wrong about cookies, but that's okay.
I mean, Z is wrong about a great many things, except for her taste in mint.
Yeah.
You shut up.
I'm irritated with you because you were sub monologuing me.
Wait, when was I sub monologuing you?
When you're talking about everybody taking pills just to feel healthy.
Well, I wasn't. Not intentionally, anyway.
Really, Rick? I'm right here.
Just add me in your monologue next time, fucker.
What do you think about this whole Kansas City kicker thing?
Oh my god. I was wondering if you were going to bring that up. It's such the word shit show comes to mind.
Well, I didn't know how much of it you saw.
I mean, I hadn't seen much, but I do know that the Chiefs head coach kind of laid into everybody over the bullshit, which I thought was amazing. I had the story pulled up. Now I'm trying to find it. I think it was on Town Hall, though, and I don't have them up right now. Hang on. Because, yeah, I hadn't seen much about it. I've heard everybody kind of freaking out about it a little bit and been like, what the fuck? But I hadn't heard much.
The biggest thing I have about it is the same people that are having the vapors about what he said, right, are the same people that have not had any vapors about anything Sean Combs has done.
I know, right? I mean, from the little bit that I do know about it, though, it seems like this is kind of much ado about nothing. Kind of like everything else the left gets pissed off about lately. It just seems like they're trying to create...
Well, we just had it today, too, right? What was it? The meltdown over the flags at Justice Alito's
good Lord.
vacation home.
Yeah, so first it was that the U.S. flag was
I
upside
don't know
down.
if you saw that or not.
Yeah, no, I saw it. Yeah, one was about the flag being upside down, and then there was another one that I don't remember exactly which flag it was, but it's one that was supposedly flown by a few people that were participating in January 6th. So between those two things, it's obvious that he's on the side of J6ers.
Yeah, well, I was trolling on Twitter about that, too.
I got one shot in before I had to start doing everything else because I didn't see it until right before Stacy and I went live. So my response to that was, oh my God, some J6ers read Bibles, which means everybody who reads Bibles must be a J6er. Hashtag Alito flag.
Well, actually, your post led me to it, right?
Yeah.
And, well, it was yours or Calvin's, but I think it was yours. And I saw Calvin's, and I posted I have a confession to make too. I'm eating tacos. You know who else eats tacos? J6ers. And then I did one about Alito drinks water. J6ers drink water. You know who else did? Hitler and Genghis Khan.
Oh.
Then I had some liberal idiot, and I know that's redundant. I should just say real idiot, trying to give me shit and say I was a traitor because I was supporting the justice, and I'm like, I never said I supported Alito. I'm mocking the journalist. What did you miss here? But yeah, there's that, and yeah, they had that total meltdown. That was a mess. Let's see. And I know I had some other things. I need to look at a poll that I have going on here.
Put that away, sir.
Because I think, oh, wait a minute. I can't do that. If I put my poll, never mind. See, get your mind out of the gutter.
She can't help it.
No, she's hung out with us too much.
I was going to say, we're to blame for this. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, one of my entries right now. Razi's goats are happy.
I wonder how happy he is, though, to find out it was actually 72 Virgils, not 72 virgins.
Well, you're right, Jeff. I'm sorry. I should apologize. I apologize, Zelda. You are closest to the gutter for the rest of us.
Ouch.
But yeah, there's that, and that was quite the entertainment here in the past week.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of entertainment this past week. I just have been so busy, I haven't really been able to get into too much of it. There's been several things that I wanted to write for Twitchy, and by the time I had 5 minutes, Calvin had already snagged them, or somebody else had, and I'm like, damn it! But that's all right. Sam's on
Zelda, I'm already in hell. I own hell. The devil looks at me and goes, "Damn, son, you just want it." But no, I especially liked all the memes that came out about Razi. And I can't believe, actually I can't believe our State Department and pretty much everybody else is like, he was a good man and a good leader.
Sure he was.
Yeah, you got that going on, and then watching Food's accounts for the past 2 weeks. That's been hilarious too.
Oh, her account's always a mess, though. Hers and Ortiz, I pretty much have to stay away from, or I'm punching people for hours and then forget what I'm supposed to be doing. So I have an obsession with punching trolls, so I try not to go onto feeds where I know it's going to happen.
Well, see, you're doing it all wrong, right? Larry Correa wrote about this. He actually wrote a post on his website about this, and he posted every now and then. Internet fighting is not for yourself or the trolls. It's for your audience.
Pretty true.
I mean, if you ever follow his account, he gets on there and he's like, "And you're doing it." And he's like, "Dude, I'm just doing this because you keep me entertained for a little bit. You'll eventually bore me, and I'll just leave you alone." Because internet fighting is not. It's a spectator sport, and that's how we entertain ourselves. Is we mock others and we point it out to others to bring them in and let them point and laugh with the rest of us.
Oh Yeah, no, I don't necessarily disagree with that. It's just what I'm saying is, when I do that, I've burnt like 3 or 4 hours before I realize that I've burnt 3 or 4 hours just because I actually enjoy doing it. So.
That I can truly understand. So what do you got planned for the weekend?
Well, it's my birthday on Saturday. I actually have a business lunch on Saturday, but they're buying, so I'm kind of counting that as a birthday present. Other than that, not much. Got juxtaposition this Saturday, and then gonna try to catch up on my writing tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and maybe a little bit on Sunday. So that way I only have...
We are going to have shows tomorrow and Friday, right?
Yes, I'm gonna... That's why I cobbled the whiteboard back together with the new mic, because that way I can keep working until the adapter gets here. Which, new mic is working great. It's a little weird, because with... The new mic sounds really, really good, but to be able to get anybody to hear me at all, the gain level has to be at 100. So that's new. Otherwise, nobody can hear me. But from everything that I'm hearing, everybody's like, oh, it sounds really, really good. And I'm like, in my head, it sounds like trash, but as long as it sounds good to you.
Well, you know, that's like Zelda's trying to tell me I have an accent. She's wrong. I don't hear it.
Well, just because you don't hear it doesn't mean it's not there, Festus.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, the only accents I have is little pink highlights in the room.
Do I want to know where those pink highlights are?
They're in my office.
Okay. I thought you were talking about your hair. I was about to get terrified. I was like, all right, my man crush is gone.
Okay, we're done. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Don't forget to tip your servers. We're out of here.
Zelda, my office in this house that I bought up here in North Dakota has pink shag carpeting and pink walls and pink shelves. It's all pink. My granddaughters calls it the pink room, and I'm not allowed to change it. I mean, besides the fact that I'm just freaking lazy.
I mean, isn't everybody really? I mean, we all talk about how lazy we aren't, but I think everybody's got lazy sometimes.
Oh, I truly believe that. There are times when I get back from work and been out on the road, and I get back, and it's just like the wife's like, "What are you doing today?" I'm staying right here in bed. I might put pants on to go to the bathroom.
Dude, I have to say, that was one of the things that drove me the craziest about my second marriage, was when our kids were little, to do everything that I needed to do and to keep her happy about the kids not being in daycare when they were super, super little. I was putting in 20 to 22-hour days and working with split days off. My days off were usually Wednesdays and Sundays. And I swear to God, because one of her days off was Wednesday, and that's one of the reasons why I split them up the way that I did, so we would have at least one day off in common. But I swear to God, it was that Wednesday. It was always that was the marathon day. That was the day that we were either out of the house for 12 to 14 hours doing quote unquote fun stuff, or doing all the errands and the shopping and everything else. And I'm just like, I have literally in 5 days, between watching the kids during the day while you were at work and working at night and all the paperwork and everything else that I have to do, have literally put in over 100 hours in 5 days. And the first day off that I have, you want to put in a 16-hour day doing something else. And she would get so mad at me about that. And I'm like, you try doing 20-hour days. She was like, well, I didn't tell you to pick this career path.
I mean, I get up and do things if I need to, but it's like, if there's nothing planned, I don't.
Well, that's just it. There was always something planned. And it didn't.
Yeah, well, I had that when I was in the Navy with my wife. It'd be like, okay, you're home. The kids got this tomorrow. They've got this on. And it's just like, okay. And I understand what she was trying to do. And yeah, it is difficult. and my wife understood it, but she also knew that this was the only things I was going to miss most of things, so it worked out. But yeah, I understand. There are sometimes it's just like, you got to. No, I don't. No, go away, leave me alone. I'm tired. I'm done.
So, did you hear about this one? About the FDIC chair?
No.
So, the FDIC chair won. Hang on. Martin Grunberg is actually resigning. According to PJ Media, FDIC chair resigns amid widespread sexual harassment allegations at the agency. I'm starting to think this is baked in everywhere because it's just happening everywhere. The chairman of the Federal Deposits Insurance Corporation, FDIC, is resigning following an investigation that revealed widespread sexual harassment, discrimination, and bullying.
I was just going to say the WEM.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, Martin Grunberg will stay in his post until Joe Biden names and confirms a successor. Oh my God, if Joe Biden has to do it, it may never happen. Well, that's not true either.
Oh, we'll get a successor.
They're just going to hand him a name on a note card and have him read it. It's all that's going to happen there. So
That actually, no, they'll just have the Sideshow Bob do it.
That's true, probably. Yeah, she tried to take a victory lap over his latest little, I'm going to forgive some more student loans thing and got her lunch ate today. That was kind of fun.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out how come nobody's doing anything about that.
I mean,
I'm just going to ignore the Supreme Court.
I don't know if anybody can other than impeaching him, and they're already starting to try to impeach him over the whole withholding funds to Israel. I guess they could tack that on. Willful disregard of a ruling from the Supreme Court. That's probably something that would be considered impeachable, I would assume.
Well, what I think they're doing, what I think the Republicans are doing, truthfully, is I think they're slow rolling it. Because they know it won't go anywhere in the Senate.
Well, yeah. I'm a firm believer that they're working on getting the groundwork laid so that they can see if we manage to get everything in November or not. Because if we get everything in November, it's not really going to matter. If we lose the White House but gain control of the Senate, then we can still try to move forward with impeachment. That's not really going to fix anything because that will still likely leave us to Kami Lama. But, with as much that we now know about the 2020 election and all the things that have come to light about it, and the things with the 2022 election that we now know where some of the same issues cropped up to a smaller scale, I don't think they're going to be able to pull the same kind of crap they pulled in 2020 without there being some really bad things that happen if they do. And I hope they're smart enough to read the room, because we're getting dangerously close to that point, whereas my good friend and your good friend, the Amish, points out, for the left, violence is a dial, for the right, it's a switch. We're getting dangerously close to that switch being flipped, and I don't think anybody realizes how close.
Oh, I think it's going to be ugly as all get out, truthfully.
When you have the African American community going to city council meetings in Chicago with Turn Chicago red shirts, screaming and yelling about how they now understand that they are being replaced by the Democratic Party and they're going to do everything they can to get Republicans in power there, the left is terrified in ways that I haven't seen before, because the center left is terrified of the right, but they're also terrified of the far left because they've gone completely into being Hamas sympathizers, and the supposed sane leftist, which I only know of maybe two that I know personally, are terrified because they're like, we don't identify with anybody really anymore because everybody's lost their minds. And I'm like, yeah, welcome to how the GOP's felt for a while now too. Fun times.
Oh, it's a shame Wardy's not going to be on after this.
Why is that?
I'll have to tag him on this one. Proposed high-speed railway could link two major U.S. cities in just 90 minutes. The opportunity to revolutionize rail travel.
It'll be done by Amtrak and be funded by the government anyway, so it's not going to matter.
Well, in April, Joe Biden, President Biden, and Japanese Prime Minister James Smith both expressed support for a plan that would use Japanese rail Shinkansen. Jeff, you're going to have to look at that and tell me. No, I don't speak Japanese at all. Barely speak English, so. Technology and link two major Texas hubs in just 90 minutes. From driving Houston to Dallas takes around 4 hours. This train will save hours for commuters and help reduce stress and improve work-life balance. It'll be reportedly faster than air travel if you factor in the time normally spent at the airport.
Well, I mean, anything's faster than air travel right now because there's a good chance you may not get where you're going if you go on a plane.
Well, that's where my wife's like, yeah, I can fly up there. I'm like, no, I'll come get you. I love you, baby.
I don't know. I might have let my ex-wife fly. Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? My bad.
Oops. Rick. That was your inside voice.
Damn it, my inside voice became my outside voice again. I didn't mean it to.
And according to Newsweek, there's cited figures from Amtrak and Texas Central. The proposed high-speed rail link would reduce the number of cars traveling Interstate 45 by 12,500 per day and slash planet-warming pollution by more than 100,000 tons annually. I'm not sure that those numbers are right.
Those numbers are never right. They'll be revised like a million times. Yeah, they're never right.
There's no proof of that, Jeff, because the government won't release the paperwork.
Oh my God, Jeff, that is amazing. I just saw the meme of Obi-Wan Kenobi roasting marshmallows over Anakin. Oh my God.
And that looks like Zelda, doesn't it?
How to make a professional lose it on the air in 3 steps. Your lack of nerdiness. You're an English major. Lack of nerdiness.
Zelda, you don't have any knowledge of anything from before you were born. You have so much to catch up on.
We're working on that.
My biggest fear though is we're going to say something and she's going to be like, respond back and be like, I'll have.
Uh-oh, I think I lost you. You there?
Because she'll respond back to us. I'm here. Did I disappear?
Yeah, you cut out for a second right after you said she'll respond back, and then you were gone,
Oh.
and then you came back.
I'll have a stroke. I'll just stroke out. You know, make a Stargate or a Back to the Future reference or something like that, and she'll just respond back with an adequate comeback and meme or something, and I'll just stroke out. That or the internet will break.
Well, you know, like I said, she's gonna start getting the cultural references eventually, assuming I can help her retain them.
I understand that, Jeff. It is a proud father moment, and then it's oh shit. It's worse when he comes back and says, "Hey, Dad, I got a better one."
Oh yeah, I remember that moment. It was my youngest, and he said something, and I said, "That's what she said." Then he flipped it. I was like, "You are so my son." But yeah, it's one of those moments where you're not.
You know what's funny about that is my straight-laced daughter did that to me. And it wasn't even there was no innuendo or something, but it was something was said, and she looked at me and she goes, that's what she said.
Andrew's just like, wait, who are you? What have you done with my child?
And the problem was I was dying, and I got the grandbabies there, and they're all like, what'd she mean by that, Papa?
You're
not old enough. But no real plans other than a business luncheon?
No, I mean that and doing juxtaposition and trying to get caught up on some writing over the weekend.
I'm gonna be smoking a prime rib.
Oh, see.
Well, let me rephrase that. I'm gonna be smoking 11 pounds of prime rib.
Holy crap! I'm jealous. I have a smoker. I really need to break it in. I haven't done it yet, but I don't have a big smoker, so if I do anything, it would be small. My roommate bought me one for my birthday last year that was on clearance. It's just a little plug-in electric smoker, but I figured since I haven't smoked anything before, I'd start with something small until I figure it out, and then I'll read from there.
Bologna.
Yeah, I'm not.
You go to the butcher shop, you just slap a bologna and smoke that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Or grill it anyway.
I'm not really a big fan of bologna. I had to eat a lot of that when I was a kid, so I don't really much care for it now.
I like a good smoked or grilled bologna.
I mean, I don't necessarily I don't mind smoked bologna, but if I'm gonna do barbecue, I prefer like real meat, not meat byproducts.
Yeah, I saw that, Jeff. Congratulations to the guy.
Wait,
I don't know. His son's got invited to Dartmouth University Chemical Department.
I know, right?
And that's impressive there. Jeff, you need to look at it in a positive light, though. Now you can get the chemicals you need for your space drive and explosion material.
Okay, I was going to type this, but I'm just going to say it. There are no actual ribs without the bone, hence the word ribs. Just saying. Like if you're eating actual...
But there are bones without ribs.
This is true, but there are no ribs without bones. Because you kind of have the rib bone. Just saying, because Zelda's in there talking about ribs without bones are better than ribs with bones. And I'm like, technically, if there's no bone, it's not really a rib anymore. Just saying.
It's Zelda. She likes ribs with bones.
Not if you...
No, maybe she just likes bones. I don't know.
No, actually, she prefers...
Never mind. Sorry.
Anyway, so that's a discussion for Twitter After Dark, and we're not there yet. But no, she actually prefers food with no bones. So.
It all depends on the rib.
I mean, yeah. If you do them right, ribs are amazing. The thing about it is, it kind of depends on what your version of correct is. Because if you're doing like smoke, like award-winning quality, they want more chew, so you actually have to pull the meat off the bone. And I know a lot of people like that, but when I do my ribs, I actually like them to be fall off the bone. That way, if I pick it up and if it falls off the bone, I just eat it with a fork. And if not, then I'll just, I don't know. I'm not.
Well,
I'm not championship quality when it comes to ribs, because I've actually had somebody be like, "This would have gotten probably the blue ribbon once upon if there was some pull to it when I bit, but there wasn't. That's not how it's supposed to be." I'm like, I cook my shit the way I like it. Leave me alone.
Well, I mean, everybody talks about that, and I'm like, really? You want to fight with your meat? You want to fight with your food?
I don't really understand where that comes from, though, because that is actually, I mean, if you look it up, you know.
Yeah, they watched American Pit. They want that Pit Masters too much.
Well, no, but I mean, but where did they get that from, though? That's the thing that I don't understand. Because even with Pitmasters, it's, you know, there's got to be a certain amount of pull to it. I'm just like, I get, you know, when it's done just right, I don't mind that much. But a lot of people get it to the point where it's nearly,
they can't do that.
It's nearly tough, and I don't really like that because it's really hard to get it to just into that sweet spot, and even some of the people that think they haven't gotten it there. And it's not that I haven't smoked anything before. It's I used to cheat. Like when I did ribs, I had like a 3-day process for when I did ribs because I didn't have a smoker. So what I would do is I would start them from frozen, put them in a marinade, let them unthaw in the refrigerator for 24 hours, then set them out in the marinade bag for another 5 or 6 hours to get to room temperature. Then I would put them in the oven, cook them low and slow for almost 18 hours. Then put them back in the refrigerator and then let them sit again until I was ready for dinner the next day. Then I would spark up a charcoal grill and basically just kiss them with the charcoal. So they wound up getting the smoked flavor. It wasn't all the way through, but they were so tender. And the funny thing is it happened by accident because my dad, years ago, made like 3 slabs of ribs one time when we went over to his house for dinner. And there was like, actually, I think it was 4. And by the time everybody was done eating, there were still like 2 left, so we got to take them home. So they'd already, again, my dad baked his ribs, so they'd already been baking all day, and then they sat in my refrigerator till like the next day, or actually I think it was about 2 days. Still in all this, the spices, the sauces, the juices, all of the above. And then I went out and sparked up the charcoal grill and basically just reheated them on the grill. And they were amazing. So I've made my ribs that way pretty much ever since. It's a long process, but they turn out really, really good. It's a long process, but they turn out really, really good. And it's almost like having a full-on smoker. Plus, they get as tender as I like. And I had a friend of mine that's one of the ones that he ate. And he's like, this would have probably almost won a competition if it wasn't for the fact that it fell off the bone when I picked it up. I'm like, did you like how the meat tasted or not? Shut the fuck up.
Well, I've never smoked ribs. All right. I used to get beef ribs when I was stationed in Virginia, which were 2 inches thick, 2 inches wide, and about 6 inches long.
Are we still talking about ribs?
Ribs, baby. Boneless beef ribs.
Okay. Well, you said 2 inches wide, 2 inches thick, and 6 inches long. So I'm just making sure we were still talking about ribs.
Yeah.
Thought maybe you were.
If I was talking about anything else, I'd use metric.
Thought maybe you were talking about your pole again. Just making sure.
No, my pole would be in metric. It's 25 by 25 by 25. And that's millimeters. You can convert it.
Nice.
But no, I used to get the boneless beef ribs from butcher shop, and I would just let them soak, marinate them, and then I would just grill them. Didn't do any smoke, grill them. 45 minutes. They were tender. Everybody ate them. Never had any complaints. I've never had any complaints on any of my food. I mean, other than my kids. I don't want to eat this. Shut up. There are kids starving in India, damn it.
Shut up and eat it anyway. Dude, first time I ever told my mom I didn't want to eat anything, she's like, fine, I'll take care of it. And then the next day was her day off, and I got up and asked what was for breakfast, and she unwrapped the plate, put it in the microwave, put it in front of me, and said, what, you didn't eat last night? I'm like, fuck. Damn it.
Microwave. I had to build the fire so my mom would reheat it for me.
Well, yeah, but not all of us are quite as old as you, my dude.
Oh, yeah.
I had a microwave in my house by the time my parents were divorced. Just barely. It was one of the old school ones with the, before it was digital, you had like the turn dials and shit. Yeah, that was our microwave.
Oh, the one that would cause 3-headed babies?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. If you have a pacemaker, do not be in the same house.
Dude, I remember reading that with the original microwaves, and I was like, "Oh my god!" It literally, at one point they had to put. I remember because my I think it was my uncle buying one, and at one point they had to have it in like big bold letters on the box. You cannot use this if you have a pacemaker.
Yep. So I got an episode possibly, or you may have covered this in Jux and I've missed it. The Bermuda Triangle. Why don't we hear about that anymore? Or is that Jeff's doing?
Well, that's a certain thing, but yeah, Ordy and I have done an episode way back in the day on the Triangle. We probably need to revisit it again because that was in season 1. I think we're up to like season 5 by now. I think.
I'll have to go back and find it because
that was like year 1.
That was the thing back in the 60s and the 70s. There are things disappearing in the Bermuda, the 40s, 50s, and 60s. I think we lost an entire battalion in the Bermuda Triangle.
Well, I mean, that's like, back then it was, the Bermuda Triangle was all the rage, but anybody that believed in UFOs was a fucking crackpot. Now nobody talks about the Bermuda Triangle and everybody's talking about UFOs.
No. I'm still waiting for that shoe to drop.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it will eventually.
I mean, Jeff talked about it on Sunday. I listened to his show today when I was over in Bismarck driving back. I didn't realize we had multiple spaceports.
You didn't know that?
Well, I knew we had Cape Canaveral, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that we had multiple ones, and there's one in Alaska.
Uh-huh.
Why do we have a spaceport in Alaska for commercial space travel?
There's a spaceport in Oklahoma.
Didn't know that.
Uh-huh. I was kind of weirded out when I found out. I don't think it's ever been used for anything, but there's actually a site that's designated a spaceport here.
I'm just a little confused by it. I'm like, I can understand having multiple ones here in the Continental because they're trying to make it a business and commercially viable for companies. They're trying to make it a big deal and touristy and everything. I'm cool. I can understand that. But why do we have one in Alaska? And what are they shooting off in Alaska from this spaceport?
Well, they could tell you, but then they'd have to kill you.
Yeah, they'd have to try hard, though. I've been around since when God, he looked over at me while we were drinking bourbon one day and said, let's make a planet. What? Just remember, we're all marble. I've seen the movie. It shows us as a marble.
Oh, that was probably one of the weirdest movie endings that I've seen.
It threw some people. I know that.
Turns out our entire universe was a marble, and then I don't remember if it was the ending of like the second one or if it was part of the same ending where they like open up a locker and there's like a whole other universe.
That's the second one. Too. That's the second. No, that's the third one.
But yeah, I'm just like, but that's kind of the weird thing to think about though is it is entirely possible that is a plausible thing when you think about it. I mean, we could technically be in a pocket universe surrounded by even larger universes that are also pocket universes surrounded by even larger universes. It's just as plausible as it's just as plausible as the quantum string theory.
Well, I look at it like Robert Heinlein talked about it. I think, what was it? The cat who walked through walls, or no, the number of the beast. We're just a book. We're just a story that some author's writing.
Yeah, well, whoever's got the pen for my section, can we speed up to the point where I'm rich again? Because I miss being rich.
Hey, you want to watch for that? Watch out for
that. Anyway. Dude, there was a time when I was making six figures, and I miss that. I'm trying to get back to that again, because I figured out really about the only way to do that without killing yourself is building your own shit.
There's always OnlyFans.
Hey, I already had my site name picked out. I'm not single anymore, so I've shelved it. But it was going to be Dad Bods with Tiny Rods.
You can still do it, and then you could be on Instagram.
But
I always get ghosted when. I thought about doing a YouTube channel, and I was just going to start being like the Cajun cook. Sit around and just drink and cook.
You going to be the new Justin Wilson?
Yeah. Now, this is how we're going to make ourselves a sandwich. First, you get your bourbon.
We're going to make a good sandwich, I guarantee.
Guarantee.
I remember my dad used to watch him so much when I was a kid. I used to get a trip out of that man.
I was always surprised he didn't set himself on fire with the amount of alcohol he'd put down while cooking.
I mean,
a little bit of wine for the soup, a little bit of wine for me, maybe a little more wine for me.
I mean, there comes a point where you consume so much it starts coming out of your pores, so I kind of had the same concerns.
Why I don't allow open flames around me.
Open flame and alcohol sweats, not a good combination.
Hey, Orty's in chat. Orty!
Amish!
Hey, Orty, we know your name.
Do we really, though? Do we really?
Yeah. Road beer.
Oh, damn it. Jeff's got a point. The hall monitor's here. We got to behave now or something.
Well, I'm waiting for Jeff to start counting swear words again.
Yeah, that may or may not start happening soon. You never know.
Hey, Jeff, I got a throwback for you. Dumbass.
She's literally being roasted.
Literally.
Complete with marshmallows.
Woo. You better watch that, Jeff. They might come out a little, yeah. But tomorrow, I got big plans.
What are your big plans for tomorrow?
Well, I'm going to be making my fruitcake recipe without the fruit in it. I'm just going to make the cake portion of it.
So do we call that the sans cake recipe?
It's the sans fruitcake recipe.
This is what
or a fruitless cake.
This is what I call the sans fruit cake, because it's all cake, no fruit.
But yeah, I'm gonna do that tomorrow because
oh my
I
God.
want to see how it tastes without the fruit.
I'm gonna burn in hell for this, but call it the straight cake. I'm telling you.
The straight cake?
Yeah. You got the fruit cake and the straight cake.
I could call it the cis cake.
Jeff kind of had the same thought, but with a slightly different twist. The anti-Dylan cake.
No, I want people to eat it, Jeff.
That's why it's the anti-Dylan cake. Oh. All right, my dude. We have just topped the end of hour 3, and I'm starting to crash. So where can folks find you?
Find me on Twitter at NukeMM1 Retired, and whenever you need a fill in, I can always be available. And last Wednesday of every month, I do Toxic Masculinity with you, 40 G, and our bar babe Aggie. And then maybe we'll start doing this every other Wednesday, unless you can figure out something else to fill the hole.
Well, there may be something.
Giggity.
There may be something else. There may be something else filling the hole soon. But if not, we will talk. Because may need to do something. Because I think Rails is gonna probably wind up staying on Sunday. Because I don't really know what else to do with it. Jeff's already pulled it from the schedule. I noticed, but I think I'm gonna make him put it back. He's gonna hate me again. But anyway, as far as me, things go back to normal for the Rick Robinson Show tomorrow afternoon and Thursday afternoon, 3 to 5. Sunday doing juxtaposition with Ordy. I'm sorry, Saturday doing juxtaposition with Ordy.
Saturday now.
Yeah, which is also my birthday, by the way. I love you guys enough to do radio.
Happy birthday, Rick!
I love you guys enough to do radio on my birthday, but I can't say much because I have a business lunch that day too. Because I scheduled it before. When I put it on the counter, I was like, "Oh shit, that's my birthday." It's like, but they're buying this time, so.
And I'm just going to put it out here now. For Rick's birthday, we all need to send him boobs.
You're trying to get me murdered, aren't you?
I didn't say titties.
You're still trying.
I can send you hookers and blow.
I mean, if you're going to do that, make sure you include lawyers, guns, and money, because I'm going to need all three to go with the other two. All right.
That's okay. That's okay, Zelda. We're going to put you on top of the refrigerator. You won't be able to stop it.
She's going to hate me for starting that. But it's not really my fault, though, because you approved on it. You're like, okay, so henceforth you are the Chat Lives Matter refrigerator imp. And I'm like, oh, my God. Now we need to get her a T-shirt made that says that.
Yeah, I think so, but she doesn't understand that Chat Lives Matters means no pants.
I mean, it's always Team No Pants. I'm in no pants right now, so
yeah. I mean, it's actually I've been thinking about that, Jeff. I thought about starting a podcast. I'll call it Hookers and Blow. It'll be about fishing and fans.
I think Zelda's approving of the shirt idea. I think. I just saw "please" in caps lock, so I'm thinking that means she's down. All right, so you guys know where else you can find me. If you don't by now, it's a long list. So anyway, if you're not yet, follow along on Twitter at RowdyRick73. Have some announcements coming soon. One of which revolves around the business meeting that I have on my birthday. So anyway.
But that's good stuff.
On that note, we're going to get out of here. But this is just because I haven't been able to do this in a while. So hang on a second. This one goes out to somebody special, and they know why. But we're going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. Chat Lives Matter was a little bit shorter than average. We're hoping to get back to normal, maybe next week. And hopefully by Monday, I'll have the new board hooked up so I don't have to have my gain maxed out. I'm afraid it's going to do something weird to the microphone. But we're going to get out of here, folks. Have a wonderful Wednesday night. And she knows why I'm playing this, by the way, in case you're wondering.
And I wear my sunglasses at night so I can keep track
Hydra's hell.